Welcome! You will find a 10-minute condensed mini lesson originally conducted for UBC's Instructional Skills Workshop for grad students. I was strictly timed. This was my raw, unedited, authentic self that I want to share with you. I hope this teaching snapshot will give you a grasp of my unfiltered, natural style when I approach leading, facilitating, and presenting in partnership with participants through online delivery. It is my pleasure to invite you into my mind. Please be advised to keep the anonymity and safety of the participants. They will be blurred out for the lesson. Let's get started.
Can everybody hear me? Awesome. All right, let's give this a go. I'll start my timer to it. All right, so welcome to my mini session, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about situational awareness, which is actually pretty common. We all run into it every day when we cross the street, when we are in a dark alley, when we're driving, whatever it is, you need to have awareness of what's around you. But I'm finding, and a lot of experienced nurses are finding, that the newer nurses coming into the operating room where we're training are missing that piece within the situational awareness arena in the operating room. They don't know what they're looking for. They don't know what they're hearing. So because I kind of want to start a little lesson on that for them, I thought I could practice on you. So I just made this whole new one for the first time. And so you're going to have the lens and practice of a new nurse coming into the operating room. Okay, here we go. Just a territory acknowledgement that I am speaking from the unceded territory of the Salish Coast Nation, where I get to play and work and speak with you today. So I'm going to give you a video. And do you have pen or paper or something you can write? Because that's what we're going to need. You're going to write down what you notice, and then we'll discuss really quickly after. It's part of our pre-assessment.
In the 1950s, a nurse found that sunlight could cure infant jaundice. At the dawn of the AIDS crisis, nurses defied medical convention and embraced patients with compassion. And cerebral palsy robbed patients of speech until a nurse gave them back their voices.
And I will always be grateful to her.
All right, what did you see? Anyone can speak up, or you can either chat, you can use the chat too, whatever works better for you or you're more comfortable. Just write out what you saw, what did you notice, what did you feel, what did you hear, every emotion or any emotion, anything.
I felt empathy. Yeah,
for sure. And the music probably added to that too, I'm sure. How so empathy?
What it requires from the nurses towards the patients. Like the situation may be different, but they were there. They looked very concerned about their patients. So yeah, that highlighted empathy for me.
Perfect. Yeah, and I see that Aaliyah wrote care, and Jess moving around swinging bear. Yes, exactly. You're seeing things happening as well. Speech technologies, yeah, absolutely. There's different things that have been going through the journey of nursing. Patients had faces. They're not anonymous anymore. That's a really big, powerful statement. Thank you for sharing that one, Jess. All of them really are. Now, that's great. And I'm glad you can see and you notice that. We do this every day, but can I add an extra element now? And we'll do that in just a moment. I just want to get to our objectives. So I want you to identify the 3 steps of situational awareness to demonstrate the awareness of at least 2 things in the surrounding environment while performing a task at the same time. That's the one that's a bit harder. And to recognize that situational awareness can be constantly improved and requires ongoing practice. So just going back a little bit, how do I go back and miss the question? There we go. All right.
في تربيتهم في المعيشة هذه الغلا الذي فينا احنا فيه به.
All right, we're going to go back one more. And we're going to see the video again, but I'm going to give you instructions. And you're going to have to follow them at the same time. Oh, different video. That's okay. Situational awareness is crossing the street. What you need to be aware of, take that all in. But at the same time, do you hear me? Just checking. Can you hear me? I need you to follow my instructions. All right, I need everyone to type in their name at the chat. As fast as you can. All right, I need you to raise your hand as fast as you can. Yep, either in person or on the Zoom option. I don't know what's called. Excellent. I think almost everyone. Yep, thank you. All right, and I need everyone to take off their mic and say stop. How was that? Did you still take in information? Could you do the same thing? How much would you feel like you could cross the street safely while we were doing the instructions? Were you watching the cars zip by? Did you see how many buses were going through? Approximately how many people were going? Did you see if there was a flashing hand light or if it was a person that said you could cross the street? Was it all the street lights and all the people allowed to go at the same time, or was it intermittent, kind of more like Canada style, where one direction can go and then you stop, and then another direction can go and then you stop? Did you notice any of those things?
You're at 6 minutes.
Thank you. Things to be aware of for sure. So zipping through. Oh, there were 3 stages. Information gathering, understanding the information, anticipation, which is basically what you naturally do every day for situational awareness. It's just breaking it down. So if we're breaking it down even more with examples, if you're information gathering, the car is approaching, understanding the information. So you're calculating the car speed versus pedestrian speed, and anticipation. Can you cross safely or should we wait? Now, this is going to be what you would see in the operating room, as now you are nurses and you are going to be coming into the operating room. I need you to anticipate, not just observe what's happening, but what could happen. That's the big one. What could happen, but while I am giving you instructions. That's the challenge. Are you ready?
Kept them awake for months until.
You don't need volume for this here. You don't need to hear anything in the operating room. It's just an extra distraction for you because that's what happens in real life. Let it be noise. There's going to be things zipping by you. What are you watching right now and what are you doing? Excellent. And now I want you to type your name in the text box, in the chat box. I want you to write down the last movie you
MVC
saw.
with abdominal trauma, severely hypotensive
Put it in the
CRI.
text box or chat box.
It's gonna be a long night. Don't say that. I haven't slept in 48 hours.
I want you to tell me
I got off an
the
18-hour
last
shift to go home to find Zola, who is
what animal you
sleep,
pet.
and Ellis, who had an earache. By the time I got the last one down, I got the call. Where were you?
For a lysis of adhesions.
All right, stop. Tell me. What did you notice? You can write it in the chat or you can speak out loud, your choice.
I noticed the kind of extreme choreography of people moving around each other as they're moving in different implements.
That was kind of a trauma situation, but it didn't really feel like a trauma because everyone kind of knew what they were doing. But that's the piece of the operating room that's so important. Because everyone's looking around and knowing what the other person's doing, you take the next step. What's not being done, you do it. But at the same time, a new student is talking to you and wondering what's going on. Okay, you can talk at the same time sometimes, but you got to keep going. So that's why I was ringing and talking in your ear, because there's always going to be someone speaking as you're working. They might need more blood in the room. there might be some orders being spoken out. Someone needs to respond.
1 minute.
Thank you. So, in that, I have for you in the text box a Google slide. If you could fill it out for me. It's a really quick lesson, so I apologize. I will give you more time in the general sense, but it's just a little snapshot of what we be talking about. You have 30 seconds, so no pressure. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I sent a text, a link on the chat. If you could click it, participant numbers don't really matter. It just kind of separates you and gives you anonymity. I can't say that word, being anonymous. So it doesn't have to be attached to a name. I know you don't have much time, but wherever you can fill out would be helpful for me. And then I can go from there next time. So just to summarize, we did situational awareness. We talked about the steps of situational awareness. And that really, it does take a lot of practice. It's not as natural as you would think in order to get to where we need you to be as operating room nurses.
All right, that's time. Thanks so much, Lisa.
Thank you.
I believe that learning is an ongoing journey for everyone, and there's always room for improvement. I was given feedback for this session from my peers and the participants, but I would love to hear from you too. There were definitely mistakes that were made during this presentation, but I welcome mistakes. I want to learn from them, and I want to learn from you. So please feel free to write some comments below, give me some feedback, and that way I can improve and get better for next time. Thank you.